Hello and welcome back to our channel. Before we dive into yet another fascinating and mysterious stories, I would like to invite you to watch, to like, and subscribe to the channel. Also activate the notification sound. Today, we embark on a journey. Through breathing, you've been breathing wrong your entire life. That mistake is the reason you're tired, anxious, and disconnected from your true power. Ancient masters didn't breathe to survive. They breathed to awaken, hidden. Inside every inhale is a secret. But the real power lies in the pause between breaths, a forgotten doorway to energy, awareness, and the self beyond the self. In this video, we'll unlock that ancient breathing ritual step by step. But first, stop for 3 seconds, take a sip of water, subscribe to the channel, comment below if you're truly ready. The journey begins. Now, most people don't realize this, but the way you've been breathing has been programming your life. Not consciously, not intentionally, just habitually, like a machine. And that's the problem. Because how you breathe is how you live. Shallow, rapid, unconscious breathing doesn't just reflect stress, it creates it. And it's not just about stress, it's about control. The system wants you distracted, anxious, reactive. So what did they do? They taught you to breathe like a slave. Chest breathing, mouth breathing, fast, shallow cycles that keep you locked in survival mode, while your nervous system silently screams, the truth, you've been breathing to survive. When you were meant to breathe, to awaken. Ancient masters knew this. That's why breath was sacred. It was never just about oxygen. It was about energy, frequency, and consciousness. But modern life has turned your breath into background noise, a forgotten rhythm, an invisible leash. Every unconscious breath you take is a micro-hypnosis, a reinforcement of the lie that you are separate, limited, helpless. But here's the paradox. The breath that traps you is also the breath that can free you, if and only if you take it back. So ask yourself right now, are you ready to reclaim your breath? To break the loop, to breathe not as a reaction, but as a rebellion. If you don't do this now, you stay trapped. Like this video, if you're done living on autopilot, because what's coming next will shake your inner system even deeper. Let's talk about the forgotten space between the inhale and the exhale, and why the ancients saw it as the doorway to God. Everyone talks about breath. Inhale. Exhale, but almost no one talks about what happens in between. That moment of stillness, that microscopic silence where nothing moves, and yet, it's everything. Because it's in that sacred pause that the illusion of time collapses. The ego stops, thought disappears. You're not inhaling, you're not exhaling, you just are. Ancient mystics called it the 0 point. The portal where the body fades, and the soul speaks. This is the real secret of breathing. Not in the air that enters. Not in the air that leaves, but in the void between them. That space is where transformation begins. It's the hidden code your body's been carrying for millennia. A quantum gate between mind and matter. Science is barely catching up. Researchers call it autonomic reset, nervous system synchronization. But the ancients knew they didn't need EEGs or labs. They felt the silence. They lived inside the still point, and from there, they shifted realities. Think about this. The pause is the only moment in the breath cycle where there's no doing, no effort, just presence. And that is the power the system doesn't want you to find, because the moment you master the pause, you stop reacting, you stop obeying, you start seeing. The truth is, you don't need more oxygen, you need more awareness. And the pause is how you return to it. But here's the twist. You've been taught to fear silence, to fill the pause with noise, with breath, with thought. Why? Because silence is where your programming unravels, and your true self begins to rise. If you've ever felt that split second before sleep, the weightless drift, that's the gate. Now, imagine stepping into that gate with intention. That's what comes next. Because in the next part, we'll uncover how the ancients built their power from that very silence, and why it was never meant to be just breath. It was a blueprint. Long before machines measured breath, the ancients mastered it. Not for fitness, not for stress relief, but for awakening. In India, they called it prana. Life force riding on air. In Egypt, it was the kaya. Spiritual essence that entered and left with each inhale. In Tibet, it was tummo, breath igniting in a fire to melt snow. In sub-zero monasteries, and they all agreed on one thing: breath wasn't air. It was intelligence. The ancients saw breath not as a reflex, but as a ritual, a ceremony of inner resurrection. Every inhale was a resurrection. Every exhale, a death. Every pause, the rebirth. Let that sink in. While the modern world taught you to breathe passively, the ancients used it to ascend, and that blueprint they left behind. It was never meant just for monks, it was meant for you, but it was hidden. Why? Because a breath-aware human is a sovereign one, a present one, a dangerous one, someone who sees through illusions, someone who feels their own divinity returning with every conscious breath. If you don't reclaim this now, you stay trapped in the noise, trapped in the programming. But if you're starting to remember, comment below, because what's coming next isn't memory, it's action. Now we go deeper. Now we go deeper now. We practice, we walk the 4 steps. The breath ritual designed to reprogram your nervous system, silence your ego, and open a door that's been waiting for you since birth. Step 1. Awareness. Place your hand on your belly. Now breathe through your nose, slow and steady. Feel the belly rise, not the chest. You've just interrupted the loop. You've just taken the first breath of sovereignty. Now hold not with tension, with presence. Notice the stillness. It's small, yes, but it's ancient, it's alive. Step 2. The sacred pause. Hold for 3 seconds after the inhale. No thought, just awareness. This is where you meet yourself, not your role, not your story, just you. Breathing. Now exhale, slow, controlled, and again, pause. 3 seconds. Do you feel it? That drop. That moment where everything softens. That's step 3. Return. This is where you choose. You choose not to rush, not to react. You stay here, in the breath, in the now. Step 4. Integration. You do this for 5 minutes every day. That's it. Not a technique, a remembering. Because when you breathe with awareness, you're not just feeding your body, you're awakening your soul. You're whispering to your own nervous system, I am safe. I am awake. The system doesn't want that. Because an awake human is unstoppable. Your breath has been your leash, but it can be your wings. Every breath is a choice. Obey or awaken. So what will you choose now? Inhale, hold, exhale. Hold again. Inhale, hold, exhale. Hold, exhale, hold. Let this be your ritual. Let this be your rebellion. The noise of the world cannot reach. You hear not in the pause. Not in the stillness. This is where angels speak, where clarity lands, where you stop being a follower of chaos and become a creator of peace. This is where you rise. Let's go further. Because now that you've tasted stillness, your old life won't feel the same. And that's not a side effect. That's the whole point. The breath is not just a tool, it's a key. And keys only matter if you use them. So, let's go back to the myths, back to the masters. In the oldest Vedic texts, they said breath was the horse of the soul, not the engine. The ride. It carries you to your truth, or away from it. The Gnostics believed the breath was divine memory. With every inhale, you remember a little more. With every exhale, you forget who they told you to be. The breath was used in mystery schools. To open states of perception beyond thought, beyond fear. But here's the part they never told you. You've already felt it. Think of the times your breath caught at beauty, at love, at truth. That gasp wasn't just emotion, it was a portal. And now you can enter it on purpose. Let's talk biology. Your nervous system is not just wiring, it's memory. It remembers every breath you didn't finish. Every panic you swallowed, every sigh you choked down. That's why the healing isn't just in therapy, it's in breath. You want to reset your trauma. Reset your breath. Slow nasal breathing activates the vagus nerve. It pulls you out of fight or flight. Long exhales, calm the amygdala, the fear center. That's not a theory, that's neuroscience, but the mystics said it first thousands of years ago. The yogis didn't need scans, they felt it, and if you commit to this will you? But let's be real, there will be resistance because everything programmed into you fights against stillness. You'll get bored, distracted, frustrated, your mind will scream, this isn't working, you should be doing something, you're wasting time. That voice, that's the matrix. That's your old identity trying to stay alive. Ignore it, keep breathing, because under the resistance is your freedom, and your breath knows how to get there. Let's go into a deeper breath pattern now. We call this the pyramid breath. Inhale for 4, hold for 4. Exhale, 4 4. Hold, 4 4. Then we increase. Inhale for 5. Hold for 5. Exhale for 5. Hold for 5. We climb, 1 number at a time. You can go as high as 10 or 12. Then descend back down. It's not a trick, it's a stairway. Every level you reach, your nervous system resets deeper, your consciousness expands wider, because breath is the ladder back to God. You're not just relaxing, you're remembering who you are. Feel your spine, feel the energy rise with every breath. That's not imagination, that's prana. That's life moving through you. Not just keeping you alive, but waking you up. The more you breathe like this, the more your old self begins to dissolve, and it should, because you are not your panic, you are not your numbness, you are not your programming. You are presence, and presence has always been one breath away. Close your eyes for a moment, seriously, right now. Take one breath. In through the nose. Feel it travel down not just to the lungs, all the way to your root, the base of your spine. Now pause, feel that stillness. Expand. Exhale slowly. Let it rise like a wave up your back, over your head, and down your chest. That's your energy body. You just activated it. That's not a metaphor, it's a circuit, and every breath you take with intention charges it. Visualize it now, a golden current moving as you breathe, rising and falling. This is what the ancients mapped. This is what modern life erased. Kai, prana, ruwa. Pneuma, different names, same force. Your breath is a divine spark in motion. But here's the truth, it's not moving randomly, it's moving according to attention. Where the mind goes, the breath follows. Where the breath goes, energy flows. So now put it to work, not for achievement, for awakening. With each inhale, say inwardly, I rise. With each pause, feel, I am. With each exhale, say, I release. With each hold, trust, I remember. This is breath alchemy. Simple words, massive shift. Because breath plus belief creates state. And state becomes reality. You want to be calm. Breathe calm. You want to feel power. Breathe like someone who's no longer afraid. Let's go deeper still. Now we add motion, subtle, internal motion. As you breathe in, imagine pulling energy from the earth. As you pause, let it rise through your spine. As you breathe out, feel it radiate through your heart. As you hold, feel the world pause with you. This is energy coherence. This is the breath they didn't want you to find, because when your energy centers align, you don't need systems. You don't need authority. You don't need external validation. You become your own source. Do this long enough, your intuition sharpens. You'll know what to do without asking. You'll sense what's off before it explodes. You'll walk into rooms and feel the energy before a word is said. That's not magic, that's alignment, and it all begins with breath. But you'll also feel resistance, not just in the mind, in the body, tightness in the chest, restlessness in the limbs. Need to fidget, stop, check your phone. Single quotes, to that discomfort. It's not a problem, it's old energy leaving, it's the exit wound of stored emotion. So stay, breathe through it, welcome the purge, because every tear, every yawn, every sighs, the system rebooting, resetting the body to truth. This is what the Monks meant when they said, breath is a path, it's not always peaceful, it's powerful, and power requires surrender. So ask yourself again, am I willing to surrender to the breath? To trust something deeper than logic, because the breath doesn't lie, the breath doesn't perform, the breath simply brings you home. You've made it this far, you've already stepped beyond the average, but the path goes further. Now we enter the breath of the spiritual warrior. This isn't about peace, it's about power. The kind that doesn't come from status. The kind that rises from stillness. There is a breath called the warrior's rhythm, used by ancient martial monks. Before battle, before initiation, here's how you do it. Inhale for 4. Exhale sharply through the nose, quick and forceful. Again, inhale, exhale, sharply. Do it 10 times, each breath like a strike. Now stop, don't breathe, just hold, feel that surge. That's your energy field activating. Now slowly inhale again, and return to calm breath. That's the cycle. Awaken, activate, reset. This was the secret breath of protection, when done right. It's not just stimulation, it's shielding. You become untouchable, centered, unshakable. And yes, the ancients knew about spiritual warfare. They knew this world would lie to you, confuse you, divide you. But they also knew the breath couldn't be stolen. It couldn't be censored, it couldn't be owned. Which is why it's the last power you always have, even in chains, even in chaos, even in grief. You still have your breath, and that means you still have your light. Do you feel it now? That memory awakening, that old knowing returning. Because the truth is, you were born with this wisdom, but they taught you to override it, to disconnect from your own lungs. They never needed to chain your body, just your breath. When they made you breathe shallow, they made you live small. But now, you remember, breath is not just function, it's prophecy. Yes, the breath tells the future. Every shallow breath predicts anxiety, every panicked inhale predicts exhaustion, but every deep, conscious breath, it rewrites fate, because you're no longer reacting, you're creating, you're no longer hypnotized, you're aware, you're no longer afraid, you are here. This is the breath of prophets, the breath of the awakened. When you breathe fully, you reclaim everything they tried to take: peace, focus, clarity, strength, presence, love, God. So, don't treat this like a video. This is not content, this is remembrance. This is initiation. The breath is your initiation, and now, it's time for the final part. You're ready for what comes next. You're ready to feel the breath like it's the first time again. So let's do it together. Right now, sit still, close your eyes. Let the outside world fade. Nothing to do, nothing to fix, just you and the breath. Inhale slowly through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, feel the stillness, that quiet space where you vanish and your soul begins. Exhale gently. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. That's it right there. In this rhythm is your return. Again inhale. Let the light fill you. Hold. Let it cleanse what isn't you. Exhale. Let it go. Let it all go and pause. Meet God in the silence. Now say this inwardly as you breathe. I am not broken. I am not lost. I am not powerless. I am here. I am aware. I am light. Breathe that in. Let those words rewrite the cells in your body, because they're not affirmations. They're remembering. You are not your anxiety. You are not your patterns. You are the one watching them. The one beneath it all, and that one is powerful. That one is still. That one is free. So now, just breathe. Nothing fancy, no technique. Just feel what it's like to truly breathe as you, not the version they trained, not the version they expected, but the real you, the you that remembers the stars, the you that was never separate from divinity. The breath is the proof. It's been with you through it all. The breakups, the betrayals, the doubts. Even when you didn't want to be here, the breath stayed. Patient, loyal, sacred, waiting for this moment. This return, this resurrection. Now, breathe one more time, not for oxygen, for truth. Inhale, light, God, memory, hold, feel, the wholeness. Exhale, let the old name fall, pause and rise. This is who you are, this is who you've always been. Not the roles, not the wounds. You are the breath, you are the silence, you are the gate. So, keep breathing, not to survive, to remember, to awaken. 2. Awaken. 2. Lead. You've reached the other side. But this is only the beginning. This is how we rise. One breath, one pause. 1 moment of truth at a time. Now, open your eyes, return to the world, but never again as who you were. Return as who you are, the awakened, the breath-aware, the divine.